Well, good Wednesday evening, everyone. Todd Warren here on Facebook Live tonight, as well as on the weather page of KTLnews.com with a live update that I usually do each weeknight, pretty much every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. As obviously we have seen a bit of a stormy day across the Arklatex today. The threat of severe weather is pretty much over for our area, but we are going to be looking at a threat for some heavy rain across the region. Coming up, I'll talk about where the heaviest rain is right now, give you an update on the radar. You can see time lapse from downtown Marshall this evening right at sunset. You can see those rain shafts there moving through downtown as that's when the rain returned to Marshall. And we're going to be stuck with quite a bit of rain for the next few days. The details on how much more rain could be on the way. We'll talk about some cool temperatures here for the next few days. A nice improvement for Easter weekend. Of course, we'll show you what's on the way for Easter. And also some good news for next week, as it looks like a relatively dry week next week. And at the tail end, we'll kind of touch on when we might see a little bit in terms of our next chance for thunderstorms. If you have a question or a comment, again, if you're watching on the NBC6 or Fox 33 pages, the comments you see are coming from my page, Todd Warren Weather. And welcome to those watching on the website as well, as I am recording this to be put on our website for future reference to, I guess you might say. So if you have a question or a comment, feel free to ask away. More normal tonight, so we'll do things like I usually do, and it is tradition on a normal night to begin things with our hellos. So let's do just that. I'm going to scoot back a little bit here. My camera's been adjusted apparently. I feel like I'm bigger. Anyway, Marnita, hello. Brian, hello. Sarah, greetings. Bonnie, that was terrible yesterday. You mean this morning? It was pretty rough, Bonnie and Spots. Maddie, hello. In California. Oh, you missed your southern storms, huh? Well, you missed a couple today there in Arkansas there, Maddie. Rusty, good evening. Yep, it's raining pretty good out there. Also show you how much rain has fallen. Let's see. Maddie, how's the grand? They are doing very well, Maddie. Amelia is starting to walk now, just getting started. So it's going to be real fun in our house. And Kyler is playing t-ball now, so that's extremely entertaining, by the way. Let's see. Christopher, watching from in Utah. Lots of snow. 17 degrees in Utah, Christopher. You can kind of keep that, I think. Sarah says rain today, still raining. Michelle, hello. For some reason, this keeps jumping on me. Let's see. Michelle, hello. Hannah, greetings. Sarah says feels like winter. Beth, in Ashdown, thunder here and some rain. But the good news, Beth, you don't have to worry about severe weather. And really, you're not going to get a whole lot of rain compared to other parts of the Arklatex. Let's see. Eric says it's 55 in his neck of the woods in Colbert, Oklahoma, west of the Arklatex. Greetings, Eric. Let's see. Michelle, still got some thunder and lightning in Vivian. Gail, is ready for dry weather. Me too, Gail, me too. Someone asked me if I was rested. I went, today. Yeah, I'm rested. Justin, it was straight line winds. No confirmation of any tornadoes Sunday. We did have confirmation today of a brief touchdown just west of Linden, an EF0 tornado, according to the Weather Service. Lee, hello. Hannah, lots of thunder and lightning in Idaho right now. Thanks, Hannah, for that. All right, let me get going here. Let's give you a look at Pinpoint Doppler, and we'll show you where the, first of all, wider view, and I'm going to switch this over to the national view of the radar here, and show you what's happening with that. Is for some reason, just give me a second, my banner isn't appearing, and that's probably why. Well, maybe not. That's kind of weird. Oh, that's why. I turned it off accidentally. All right, give me a second here. There it is. There's the banner, and it looks like we're all good now. So there's a national radar, and you can see, wanted to show you this because you can see the extent of where the rain's coming from. It's all moving towards the northeast. We have the upper level winds that are blowing like this So all this rain is going to continue to flow mainly across the southeastern 2/3 of the area. And this does extend all the way down to Victoria, Texas. So the moral of the story is we're going to see these waves of heavy rain move through tonight to morning. Tomorrow morning might see a little bit of a pause late tomorrow afternoon, and then we'll kind of pick things up again heading into Friday. So let's go back to the radar out of Shreveport and show you how this will play out. And you can see right now we do have some rain. Someone mentioned some rain in Ashdown. You can see these basically showers with a few embedded heavier downpours. And really it's pretty much mist Texarkana, it looks like, maybe a few sprinkles. And this very well could be the brunt of all the rain you're going to see. As you move to the south, you can see another band of showers and thunder showers extending from just north of Vivian to Ida up into Magnolia. Those not severe. Back where it's a little bit warmer, you can see these thunderstorms down here in Texas. They are rather strong, but as they move into this cooler air, the trend is that they do weaken fairly rapidly as they move further north into East Texas. You can see a decent thunderstorm right now near Carthage. Let me pause this. And it is producing maybe a little bit of hail, but not severe. And you can see these storms down here in Cherokee County also showing a possibility of dropping some hail. Another one in Sabine County. So a little bit of hail down southwest edge of the area, but we're not going to be looking at anything as far as any significant storms tonight. The main issue is going to be the rain. And let me show you how much rain has fallen across the area. And let's see, this is what I want. There it is. Okay, so here's how much rain has fallen. This is 24 hours worth, and you can see that northern part of the Arklatex has seen amounts of up close to an inch to an inch and a half, and you can see these pockets of yellow. Those are 2 inches. Notice similar, pretty much area wide, a good solid half an inch to an inch, pretty much area wide. A little bit of a dry pocket here around Shreveport. For now, that's going to change. So again, so far we're heavy 1 to 2 inches, light. Lightest part of the area is half an inch or less. But most of us have seen at least a good half an inch of rain here so far in the last 24 hours. Where do we go from here? Well, let's talk about that. As we are looking at, again, a frontal system, which is, and Sarah, you can watch this, going to stall out to the south of the Arklatex, and with that southwesterly flow going over the top of this cooler air mass, it's the perfect setup for some persistent rains. And Sarah, it looks like some more rain on the way for you tomorrow. Here we will see the rain persist tomorrow night, that front not going anywhere anytime soon. It's not until the upper level winds become more westerly that we'll finally see a bit of a push, and that will occur as we head deeper into the weekend. You can see that we will stay cloudy Friday night, although the rain likely will end. Lots of clouds Saturday, and you can see we finally begin to break things up in terms of those clouds Saturday night. I do think we'll see quite a bit of sunshine here for Easter Sunday. Let's zero in here on the Arklatex. This is the latest run of Futurecast, and I'll show you also the latest run of the HR model like I did last night, kind of give you some comparisons. So you can see the waves of heavy rain. The Futurecast showing the main focus over basically between East Texas, Northwest Louisiana, and the western half of Southwest Arkansas. We'll see, again, a little bit of a decrease in the intensity tomorrow afternoon. The rain will increase in intensity over the south tomorrow night. And then going through Friday, we'll see things kind of begin to decrease, hopefully for good, as far as the heavy stuff, as it shifts to the east. And then Friday night, the rain should end, and then we should see, again, a mostly cloudy sky, I think, for Saturday still. Maybe a lingering shower Saturday morning. So we got 2 more days of this stuff as far as the rain is concerned. All right, let's talk rainfall. Before I do that, let me show you the HR model. This only takes us out 18 hours, but you will get the gist. So again, this updates with a new model run every single hour, and you can see it also has pretty much the same spot. You can see how similar those are in terms of this swath of heavy rain going through the nighttime hours tonight. It will continue into tomorrow morning. And then as we head into tomorrow afternoon, it goes to noon, it looks like this. Okay, yep. So we will see the potential for heavy rain continue through tomorrow morning, and then things kind of quiet down here in terms of the heavy stuff temporarily for tomorrow afternoon. Rainfall potential. I'm going to share with you the basically low res version of Futurecast. This paints with a broader brush, and it's somewhat interesting that it is a little bit more. It's heavier, as you can see. The 3 to 5 inches of rainfall, basically over most of northwest Louisiana, extending down into deep East Texas. 5 inches in center, definitely within the realm of possibility. And keep in mind, this does include some of the rain which has fallen today. So we'll eventually end up with a good 2 to possibly as much as 5 inches over much of the area in the next couple of days. And just to kind of share with you, this is the blend of longer range models, which don't show quite as heavy amounts, but keep in mind there's a bunch of information going to calculate these numbers. And you can see the agreement in what I just showed you with Futurecast, as well as compared to this. So the point is, a good 3 to 5 inches of rain will be possible, and this does not include as much of today's rain as Futurecast is including. So there you go, lots of rain. So if you're waiting to mow the grass, if it needs to be cut yet, you're going to be waiting a while, because it's going to take a while to dry out from this. All right, so that's the short range version of what's happening. Let me take a look at the comments here. Let's see. Heck of a squall line today. Yep, Albert, it was a pretty good line. That we had that one brief. I mean, it must have been a scan or two of the radar that rotation was tight enough to be really concerned about. Then that spin up just kind of fell apart, but did produce quite a bit of wind as it marched east. Yeah, Christopher, that is the hope. I'm not holding my breath. This is one of those active springs that often happens when the Pacific is as cold as it has been here recently. I mentioned this at times, but I've noticed there's a correlation between the Pacific Ocean and its relative to normal. When it's colder than normal, we tend to get a peak, one very big active year in terms of tornadoes in the Arklatex. With this cool snap in the Pacific, we've had, a little bit of an uptick, but we haven't had that really, really busy year. With the one tornado today, that gives us, I believe, 8 for the spring so far. And in the big peaks, I think we're talking, 30, 40. So hopefully we don't have that many in. But of course, that's in a year's. Actually, no, I didn't plot it that way. I'm gonna have to look that up later on. So, or did I? I may have been year round. Yeah, it was year round. So, for a whole year, we're talking 50 tornadoes, not just the spring. I looked up so many different numbers when I was doing that research. I still haven't posted that blog because I'm still not happy with how things turned out. Anyway, I digress. Sarah, 48 tonight in Brooklyn and drizzling. Chris says, one more Arctic blast up the sleeve, says Santa. Maybe this is probably it. Chris, I bet you, I won't bet the house. I learned long not when it comes to weather not to do that. But I would wager that it will be several months before we see highs in the 50s again after Friday. So I think that's going to be the case. Edna, when will this end? We'll see the off and on rain through Friday, Edna, and then we'll see things kind of quiet down Friday night. And we will see the sunshine by Easter Sunday. That is a good segue to grain of salt time. So let's take a look at the pattern here and show you what's going to be going on. Again, grain of salt time is when we talk longer range, because anything after that's out 7 days plus, you got to take it with a grain of salt, because chances are it's going to change. There's that southwesterly flow in the upper levels that I talked about here. That's what's going to persist. And you can see this is Friday, still rain around. And then finally the wind, notice how when the wind becomes more westerly above us, that's when all the rain gets pushed to the east. Imagine that. And so we are going to see, again, a ridge. And Chris, this ridge is going to probably end the race between Phoenix in Shreveport. Chris is wanting to know which will hit 90 first, Shreveport or Phoenix. At the very beginning, I said it probably would be Phoenix, and it looks like this ridge is going to do it, as they're looking at low 90s early next week. We have a chance late next week, so we'll see how that plays out. Speaking of that ridge, you can see it does move across the country going through next week, and we will see dry weather basically for most of Saturday through next Friday, and then next weekend. Again, that wind, a little bit of a fairly weak upper level disturbance will give us a shot for some thunderstorms next Saturday. This looks somewhat similar to what moved through Sunday. Very compact, little bitty thing. And keep in mind, this is 10 days out, so huge grain of salt. All right. I already showed you the rainfall for the next 10 days, so let's talk about how much we warm up in the coming days. Let's start off with the European set of ensembles here. And European set of ensembles during the day usually run a little cool. I think that's definitely the case next week. They're in the 70s for highs. It's going to be warmer than that, quite a bit warmer. Lows in the 50s. Notice nothing really too outlandish as far as temperatures here. So let's switch over to the GFS ensembles, and you'll see that they are quite a bit warmer and pretty much in line with what the blend of models in the longer range are indicating. Notice the coolness for the next few days. We start to warm up heading into and through Easter weekend. The GFS ensembles showing mid 80s into next week. Model blend was in the 87, 88 degree range, and another model to look at was at 91 earlier this week for the end of next week. So 90, if we're going to hit it, it's going to be Friday, I think. So we'll see how that plays out. Point is, we're going to be warming up next week with a relatively dry weather pattern. Let's see. Jessica. Thursday, chairs. Well, it's going to be wet there, Jessica. For you, Sarah, I'm not sure. I will look that up here in a second. In fact, that is my cue to look up Sarah's weather. She tunes in pretty much each and every night from Brooklyn. So, is it going to rain on Easter Sunday? It does look dry, which is good for you, Sarah. And not a whole lot of rain, actually. In the next 2 weeks, maybe an inch, which is not too bad. As far as your temperatures, Sarah, let me call that up here. You mentioned the coolness. How about 70s tomorrow? You cool to the 50s Friday and this weekend, close to 80 by the end of next week, and then you kind of stay in the 70s for a while. So it's going to get through this weekend, Sarah. You're going to be seeing a nice warm up in your neck of the woods next week. Oh, Christopher says more snow. It's possible, Christopher. Michelle Texarkana, again, I there is a great deal of manpower that goes into putting this together. So this is for Shreveport. It's probably going to be very similar. You know, a couple of degrees maybe cooler for Texarkana, but that'll show you what I'll show you the radar here, Michelle, and you'll see Texarkana's forecast for tonight and tomorrow here in a second. But let me switch this to the view of the entire area and put this into motion. Just a review, if you're just tuning in, that we do still have these areas of very heavy rain. Some decent thunderstorms down over southeast Texas. They will weaken as they move into this cooler air here in the Arklatex. We still have the potential for maybe a little bit of small hail over the southwest edge of the area during the next several hours, but we will see the heavy rain. You can see it increasing here over deep East Texas. That's going to spread north into Shreveport, into northwest Louisiana, and basically south central Arkansas during the night tonight. But we're not looking at anything as far as any significant severe weather. Just a lot of rain across the region. Again, we do have a flood watch that is in effect for the southern tier of counties and parishes through tomorrow. All right, so let's go through the forecast before I close up shop tonight. And this is what it looks like, as we are going to look at we will be looking at the persistent rains continuing. Heavy at times. It looks like the heaviest rain will be in East Texas, northwest Louisiana, and maybe the eastern sections of southwest Arkansas. Notice the lows, 40s north, low to middle 50s across the south. Tomorrow, looking at rain likely. It will decrease in intensity during the afternoon. We'll be at 55 tomorrow in Texarkana, 58 in Shreveport, 64 degrees for the daytime high tomorrow in Natchitoches. And the 10-day forecast shows that temperatures across the Arklatex will be warming up once we get past Friday. Saturday, for the most part, is looking pretty much dry, to be honest with you. I was tempted to take out that 20%. I'm going to give it one more day, see what it looks like with the models tomorrow. Easter Sunday right now should see some sunshine, 75. 80s return by Tuesday, close to 90 by next Friday. And you can see the lows mainly in the 50s, warming back to the 60s by the end of next week. And again, our next chance for maybe a few strong storms could be next Saturday. So that is pretty much the story here for the Arklatex. Again, the main story for the next few days will be the potential for some heavy rain. The good news is that we really won't see anything significant as far as severe weather. So again, thanks for tuning in tonight, folks. Appreciate you watching. Don't forget to watch tonight at 9 on Fox 33 or at 10 on NBC 6. And I'll be back here one more time tomorrow night with another live update. Give you an update on the rainfall across the area. Until then, have a great night and stay dry. Good night.